Team Germany is the 2025 EuroBasket champion, and Franz and Tristan's fingerprints were all over this game. Let's break it down to see how they made such an impact. This is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source for all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Magic fans, by a Magic fan. I'm Edwin Valentine, and I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. You can do the normal YouTube things if you're so inclined. Hit that like button, share this video, or drop a comment below on what you thought of Tristan and Franz's performance today. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss on any of the content that I'm producing for the Orlando Magic this year. We're going to start off with Franz's stats. In 33 minutes, Franz scored 18 points on 7 of 13 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3, and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 big blocks. This was a really good game for Franz. He scored 16 of his 18 points in the first half, so a lot of his imprint was more at the beginning of the game. But he was the one keeping the German team in it because Schroeder only scored 2 points in the first half, and Daniel Theis was in foul trouble. So a lot of the offensive load ended up going onto his shoulders. He wasn't much of a facilitator. He was the one that needed to actually go out and get the baskets, and he did it in a lot of different ways, as you'll see when we go over the film. There was a few little runners. He hit a three. He was able to get to the line. All that happened in the first half. So Franz was very involved in the beginning of this game and keeping Team Germany connected to Turkey. There was a point early in the game where it looked like Turkey was going to run Germany off the court. And if it wasn't for Franz, you'll see Tristan as well and Banga. If it wasn't for those three, then they would have not been able to come back against Turkey and win it late. Now let's go to Tristan's stats. Tristan in 22 minutes scored 13 points on 5 of 9 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and no steals and no blocks. That doesn't really tell the whole story. I'm going to show in the film how Tristan's defense was able to kind of slow down Larkin in this game for Turkey. He was able to keep his feet moving, show his hands, pretty much like he did in the Finland game, and his defense really made a big impact in the game. It was really the threes. Going 3 or 4 from 3 is always great, but it was the timeliness of the threes that were very exciting. The threes that he hit were needed at that time of the game. There was a lot of points where Turkey was up 8 or was up 6 and looked like they were going to try to go on a bit of a run, and Tristan would hit a 3 or Opes would hit a 3 or Bonga would hit a 3, and it would slow down the momentum of Turkey. So they were never able, especially in the first half, to really separate themselves from Germany, even though Turkey was playing a lot better than Germany overall in that first half. Now let's do the final recap of the stats for Franz and Tristan, not only just the EuroBasket stats, but also their entire summer with Team Germany. Franz ends EuroBasket with 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists per game, shooting 46% from the field, 29% from 3, sounds familiar, and 85% from the free throw line. If you look at the knockout stages and the group stages there, you see that he had a great group stage, averaging about 22 points per game, and he ended up averaging about 20 points per game in the knockout stage. He really struggled in the knockout stages. In those 4 games, he only shot 37% and 19% from 3, which ended up lowering a lot of his averages. So that's why he ended up with only 46% from the field and 29% from 3, mostly because of the knockout stage struggles. But the group stage, he dominated, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists on 55% shooting, 41% from 3, and 81% from the free throw line. Now in the 6th prep games, he also scored 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists on 52% shooting, 15% shooting from 3, and only 77% from the free throw line. So overall, if you look at Franz's summer with Team Germany, he averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists on 49% shooting, 23% from 3, and 81% from the line. Franz was Franz. Franz was what Germany needed when it comes to scoring. There's obviously Schroeder and him are the two-headed monster for Team Germany, and he's mostly the finisher. Schroeder would be the one to set him up and set up the rest of the team. Franz was the one that would finish off plays, get in the open court, hit an occasional three. So Franz definitely continued his positive progression. Obviously, the big thing is the three pointers, and that's something that hopefully, as I've talked about before, and I'll talk about a little bit here in the film when we go over it. It's not much of a remedy that we have for him. It's more of a kind of a reminder that hopefully someone's in his ear when it comes to how he shoots his three pointers moving forward. Tristan finishes the EuroBasket with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Field goal percentage is 56% and 53% from three, 18 of 34. That is very exciting. Franz, if unfortunately he's not able to recapture his stroke, he's still able to affect the game in so many other ways. Tristan, I feel, has the same capability, but right now his role on the Magic is mostly just going to be 3-point shooting, being in the corner, secondary ball handler, playing defense, all the other things that a winning team needs. And 53% from three is just going to skyrocket his stock. And if you watch that video about the betting odds, Tristan is actually on the board for possible sixth man of the year. So if he continues to shoot like that, we're not expecting 53% from three. But if he ends up shooting in the high 30s, low 40s, then I think that's going to obviously open up so many things for the bench unit when he plays. And if he spot starts every so often, then there will be a less of a drop off when going from Franz to Tristan. He really excelled in the knockout stages. Everything was up just a little bit. All of his stats: 63% from the field, 67% from three. He shot 10 of 15 in those 4 games. And the group stage, pretty much the same exact stats that he has now: 51% shooting, 42% from three. We'll take 42%. It won't hurt anybody. And 86% from the free throw line. In the prep games, he really didn't play as much. It could be the fact that they just were easing him in after going into the summer league and playing there and then going directly to the national team. Maybe they were just trying to give him a little bit of a soft start, scoring 6 points, about 3 rebounds, and an assist, shooting 34% from the field, 36% from three. So that just shows you that a bit of a slow start, and maybe he just got comfortable as the tournament went on, and he was able to really get that confidence and knock down those threes with confidence, as we'll see on the film. In the end, with Team Germany this summer, he averaged 9 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist on 48% shooting, 47% from three, and that's over the course of 15 games. That's something that we'll take every day, all day, and 92% from the free throw line. So Tristan's role expanded as the tournament went on, and he ended up passing the test with flying colors. He was everything that they needed, especially in a game like today where it felt like it was slipping from their hands at points, and Tristan just helped make sure that that wouldn't happen. All right, now let's go to the video here. So you'll see Turkey really came out smoking. They were out to a 13-2 lead. Here, Franz is trying to drive and does like a little hook. I'm gonna call that the Franz drop is what I'm gonna call it. He takes on Usman. Usman did a pretty good job. He tried and he just misses that little sweeping hook. Then here he has a bit of a grenade, as you see, less than 5 seconds left in the shot clock, and he misses that three. Now this right here is the three that I think there'll be 2 threes that he ends up missing, but if he continues to shoot this type of three, I feel that his percentage is going to go up just because he's going to have more opportunity on the Magic this year with them hopefully having a more open offense and having more shooting around where he doesn't have to be a primary ball handler all the time anymore. Jalen could do it. Desmond could do it. Paolo can do it. So he can be a bit more over on the corners and he shoots a better percentage from the corners. He didn't make these here, but I still feel like if he continues to shoot like this, and you'll see even though he has a little bit of time here, there was no hitch. He just missed it. And sometimes you're just going to miss it. So here, there was no hitch. He was able to get the ball there. So here is another one of those. Ball sprays out. It's in the flow of the offense. A little pump fake. Boom, hits a nice three. And there's one of the two blocks, one of the two chase down blocks he had in the first half. So that one was kind of a break, and he was able to swat that one away. So he goes. He's going to take on Shangun. Pretty much a straight line drive. And he does that same little teardrop, and he's able to hit that one. Bona wasn't expecting to be put in the spin cycle a couple times. There is one from Franz. This one. Now, again, wide open. Now, this is where I feel that he gets in his head a bit when he's wide open like this. This time, nobody even tried to run at him. They said, okay, have fun, shoot it. So he had all day. Now, the good thing is, look at the form. It was pretty straight in that there wasn't a hitch, there wasn't anything, which is great because that's normally when the hitch really presents, whenever he's wide open like that, because then he has time to think. When he doesn't have time to think and he just instinctively shoots it, it's always with a better form. There's less of a hitch. So he misses it, which isn't great, and we want him to start hitting them. But just the little victories in even a missed shot like that really help gain confidence for him, I feel, hopefully, for this upcoming season. So here he catches the ball, little pick and roll with Oscar da Silva. And there he goes. He's trying to draw a foul, but instead he just banks it up with two hands. And here's another one of those spin moves. Cuts in, breaks left, and shoots it with his left. If you've watched these videos, you hear me talk about it all the time. He shot with the left there, so he was able to keep Bona away from getting the block. That's why you use your left when you're over on the left. If he would have shot it with his right, Bona would have been there and been able to block the shot. But he hard drives right, spins back, and then he's able to finish with his left. So I think that right there is perfect. Here, another grenade, less than 5 seconds left. Osman does a good job of defending it. So Franz has to sidestep and misses that three. So two of his six shots, I think, were difficult. There he is, just an easy dive down. This is a good chase down block. Larkin sees him coming, and he's still tall enough to spike that one down. Get that out of here. And this is early in the third. This is going to be his only 2 points of the third. Nice, easy play, an easy drive. But then the defense starts to really sag onto him. This is another one in the rhythm. He just missed that one, unfortunately. Here he's going to end up getting called for an offensive foul, I guess, with his hip. I don't know. That was a bad call. But what I wanted to show here is that even though he didn't score in the second half very often, just the amount of attention he was getting after scoring 16 points in the first half is that Turkey was making sure that they weren't going to leave him alone and let him get ahead of steam, which is what he was doing a lot in the first half. So the defense was better. The defense was kind of tilted towards him. So on Team Germany, he ends up kind of having the Paolo role, in that Paolo a lot of the times will be the one to suck in the second defender, and then that's when he has to make the play for his teammates. So Franz was doing that in this game. Now here, he didn't even get the ball, but he was able to still have so much gravity that Bona basically leaves Daniel Theis wide open. Now, as you see, it's less than 2 minutes left in the game. Theis had been in foul trouble the whole game, not done well, but because of the gravity that Franz had, Bona was over by him, leaves Theis wide open, and then Theis just calmly sits and buries it. So huge play there that gives them the lead. And then now for Tristan. Now, Tristan, look, 3 minutes left in the first. This is Franz's normal time for a break, but again, an out of bounds play. So if Randy Gregory has been the one that has been drawing up these out of bounds plays, they've been very, very creative. Tristan has been able to score a couple 3-pointers off of the inbounds passes. Last game also, Franz had a nice easy one at the basket. So Randy Gregory, if you didn't know, I just said his name. Randy Gregory is part of the Orlando Magic coaching staff. So I think it'll be a very good thing that he's got a lot of good experience here. He was the one taking lead when it came to drawing up the plays for the out of bounds sets. And Tristan and Franz both benefited from them in these past couple games. So here's a nice curl. So there was a bit of a pick from Franz there. Now, Tiemann is able to kind of get in front of Usmani, who's supposed to be guarding him, and now he's just going to step into it. and shoot with confidence. Less than three there. Here he goes. He has so much confidence. He's going to go up against Shangun. Gets his first one blocked, but stays with it. And he just continues to work and able to finish with his left hand there. Big shots at the beginning. Early in the shot clock, still has confidence. He misses that one. And then the defense that he played on Larkin, it was very impressive. Like I mentioned, he didn't have any blocks, he didn't have any steals, but just by making sure that Larkin didn't never really felt comfortable when he was guarding him, really helped keep Larkin in check. He had an average game. He still had 9 assists. He still did things, but Larkin is one of the engines of the team. And with Tristan and, of course, Bonga, because Bonga was on him at the beginning of the game, but whenever they would switch off and it was Tristan coming in to play that defense, he was just an excellent defender throughout this game. So here, Larkin tries to drive past, makes it difficult, doesn't get it in. Here it is again. So you see he's trying to probe. He's trying to see if he's going to be able to get past Tristan, catch him sleeping, but Tristan isn't biting on it. He's able to eventually contest and ends up missing the shot. There he goes. He's going to drive on Bona, keeps the ball in his left hand to make sure that he can't get the block, but he misses it. But at another play, he stays with it. So his couple offensive rebounds really were helpful. And there's another shot there. Turkey up three again. Tristan calmly hits a three. Turkey up by 6 here, and he just shoots it over coming from the center line, basically going towards the corner. He barely even set his feet, and he was able to still rise and hit it. He was able to square himself, rise and hit it. So Tristan was playing with a bunch of confidence in his game, and I don't know if it's from the semifinals where he scored 13 points as well and also shot the ball well, that he just came with a bunch of confidence. And every time Turkey looked like they were trying to extend the lead, Tristan would hit a three, or Bonga would hit a three, or Opes would hit a three. So they were very key 3-pointers every time he shot them. So here, and this is why you want to be hitting those 3-pointers and shooting such a high percentage, because then people have to come out and then you're able to spray the ball out to your teammates. Wide open team in here, and he's able to tie the game there. And a little pump fake here. Now, this is where I talk about in my player profile for him, and then also a couple of the other videos that we've done. If he right there, he shoots a little bit of if he shoots I call it a Hartenstein floater, basically. If he shoots that right there, a little push shot, then it's a nice, easy shot. But Shangun is kind of baiting him there. And then it's a horrible offensive foul. Like, let's be 100% honest. The referee behind the play is the one that calls it. It's a really bad call. And as we saw earlier, Franz had an offensive foul. So there was 3 or 4 offensive foul calls in the second half against Germany that were a bit interesting, let's just say, but they were able to overcome. Here is the last play of the game. Franz is going to catch the ball and just toss it into the air so that the time expires and time for celebration. First guy there with him is teaming, so they're hugging, and then Tristan's going to come out. So hopefully Tristan and Franz are hugging like that with the Magic make it to the finals or win the finals at some point. And to shout out his brother who wasn't there, he wore the Moritz Wagner jersey backwards so that you can have his name there, even though, unfortunately, as you all know, he wasn't able to play due to his ACL injury. Also, Franz made it to the All-Star 5, which is basically the all-tournament team, the top 5 players of the tournament. So Franz and Schroeder both made it from Team Germany, as well as Shangun, Giannis, and Luka. So it's good to see there, which is interesting because the All-Star game this year is going to have an international feel. So it's good to see like how many other All-Stars there are in Europe, because generally speaking, Europe is where most of the other talent comes from. Of course, Canada has really good talent as well. So like Shea is going to likely make the All-Star team, but there's not a lot of other guys from Canada that are going to likely be selected for that 8-man roster for the international team. So we'll see. Hopefully Franz is able to make it I contend he was already going to be an all-star, and he would have likely been an all-star if it was the typical way of choosing the all-stars. But in this new format, if we look at it, it's unlikely that Schroeder is going to be an all-star in the NBA this year. So we're talking about the four there with Luka, Franz, Şengün, and Giannis. That right there is already four. Jokic made second team, so that's five guys there. Shea would make six. So that's where I don't know, like with it being so specific of being international guys, I worry that it's going to be pretty tight. But if Franz continues to play the way he played in this tournament, he's going to be an all-star. Then it's Tristan getting his medal and Franz coming out getting his medal. And then it's the ceremonial lifting of the trophy. There's Tristan's, and then there's Franz. EuroBasket's done. It's going to be the last time I use the title of EuroBasket. This it's not there anymore, but it's going to be the last time I use that. So it was a very fun competition to watch. It was awesome to see the Magic players develop as well as they did, as well as even the coach Randy Gregory. I think also did an excellent job in his time in Europe. So with the period in Eurobasket, all the guys were able to work on different things that hopefully are going to be able to translate to the Magic this year. And to grade the finals, I feel that Franz ended up with an A score because Franz played good defense. He was able to keep Team Germany in it while Schroeder was struggling at the beginning of the game. And he continued to still have that gravity so that the other players were able to get easier shots. Now, Bonga ended up winning the man of the match, and I feel that goes to how Schroeder and Franz are the ones that are able to absorb all the focus of the defense. So A for Franz and A plus for Tristan. His role is a much smaller role than Franz. Tristan's role, and it will be the same on the Orlando Magic. So if he's able to average the 10 points that he did in this tournament, that's over only about 18, 19 minutes per game. If he's able to have more minutes, if he's able to continue to develop that mid range, continue to hit those 3-pointers, continue to play the defense that he is, and if he's able to score a little bit more to get that to 12 points a game off the bench, plus the defense, plus the ball handling, plus all the other things that he brings to the table, then he's definitely going to be in the conversation for sixth man of the year. And he could also be the most valuable player off the bench for the Orlando Magic if he continues to play this way. And that's it. The EuroBasket is in the books. Now we have a couple weeks until training camp starts for the Orlando Magic, and I'll be putting out content between now and then. So hit that subscribe so that you don't miss out on any content. We're trying to get to 200 before the start of the season. Let's see if we can get there. Also, don't forget to do the other things. You got to hit that like button, share the video, and drop a comment below on the video or how you felt Franz and Tristan did in this tournament and what they can work on when they get to training camp. So I want to thank you very much for spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. I hope you're having a great day.